You ready?
Yeah.
100%?
Yep.
It's kind of hot in here, but it's all good.
You
know
okay?
what I mean?
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm good.
Bro, the AC's on.
Bro, we've been putting this on and...
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of work.
Yeah. So, Liston. Back at it again. How you been, bro?
Good. It's good to see you.
Bro, second episode? The last episode was the 56, right?
52nd.
52nd?
Yeah, I actually listened to it before you came over.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I loved it, man. It was very seamless, and it's just I feel like if someone watched that and I was the only one they had watched, they'd be like, how long have these guys been friends? You know what I mean? You got that way of just like really making people feel like you've been friends with them forever.
Thanks, bro. Well, it was just, I remember I was mad because it didn't look as good as I wanted it to look, right? I was mad about that.
Yeah.
But then when I spoke with you, I was like, oh, I forgot that it's all about the conversation. It's like, if you have a good conversation, that's what you should put out, right? So it was just fun, bro. I hit you up, you have been through so much from that. That's what, like a year and a half?
Yeah, no, it feels weirdly enough, like, because I was watching it earlier and it feels like yesterday.
Yeah. Oh,
but
my
now
God.
all that time has gone by and it just, I don't know. It's crazy how fast time goes by.
Bro, it's scary. It's going way too fast.
A little too fast, but I, for my day job, I do outbound collection calls.
Oh,
and so
okay.
But you kind of get to talk to people in all walks of life.
Yeah.
And it's kind of what inspired me to set myself up. But it also taught me that you really can't plan for anything because some of these people are really, well off and something happens. And so I don't know, like overall, like I'm just grateful to be here. And it's just really cool to have conversations with people that you connect with.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about you is you just have the desire to connect with people, because if in that shows, and I don't mean to fluff you or be like, be like, oh, hey, all this, but I really do mean it because just doing this kind of stuff means a lot to me.
That's dope, bro. Well, it's just, you're an interesting person, bro.
What do you think is, I know you're asking me questions, but what do you think is interesting about me?
Well, you have this way of looking at life or a perception that I never had. You know what I mean? The way, you're a small person.
Yeah.
And is that how you call it? Small person?
Well, little person.
It's the same. It's an English thing.
Yeah. Well, but yeah, that's also
little and small.
Well, that's like, what do I call you when you're not around, Lee? But, I always tell people, because it's always like, number one, people are always scared of offending people. That's like the number one thing. And the other thing is I obviously don't speak for all little people or people with dwarfism. And so what my perspective, I guess, is when you see like he has dwarfism. That's what my condition is.
Okay.
And then think of it like a giant tree. And then all the branches are different kinds of dwarfism. So I have achondroplasia.
Oh, there's different kinds?
Oh yeah, there's tons of different kinds. Like 200 to 400 different kinds.
What's the most prevalent?
Achondroplasia.
That's the one you have?
Correct.
Okay.
That's, and you were talking about Peter Dinklage on Game of Thrones.
Yes.
He also has that.
Oh.
So that's the condition he has.
Okay.
So, and then there's, I can't think of the term, but on the last episode, we talked about Billy Barty, the actor I like.
Yeah.
And he has, I can't think of the name, but he has a different kind of dwarfism. So it's just, there's just so many different kinds and it's a huge, so I always just say he has dwarfism because that's what the medical condition, but kind of the casual term, I guess, is like little person, like, oh, he is a little person.
And that's a term that won't offend anybody. It's just what it is.
No, and it won't, but I think the other thing too, the reason the medical parts are important is because if you go, oh, he's my friend, he's a little person. I know what that means.
Yeah.
But they don't know what that means. Like, oh, he's just like really small. Like nobody really knows the context of what that actually means.
Yeah. What's is there any condition that it's like, oh, dang, that's hard?
There's like primordial dwarfism, I believe.
What is that?
It's like the really small, and I could be wrong. So, but where they don't like live as long and they're really, really small and really, really tiny. So there's different conditions that are, are pretty hard. And now I'm having all these memories, but I don't remember the specifics. But when I served a mission in the Philippines, we taught this lady whose baby had an issue with dwarfism. It's been so long. But what I remember is, when I was a baby, I had what's called spinal cord compression. And basically what that means is that the spine is squeezing on the nerves, and so I'm not getting any flow. Oof. So what they do is they go and they break that, and what that causes the opposite effect, right? Like there was a bunch of pressure. It's basically locked up. Now it has this endless flow, and that's called hydrocephalus, which means water on the brain. Yeah. So what they do is they put a shunt in to circumvent it and make it work. But this person's baby, this lady that we taught, her baby, his brain was like drowning in the brain fluid.
Wow.
And it's crazy because like in an area like that, they don't have medical professionals. They don't have the money. They don't have the resources to get that treated.
Yeah.
While my childhood was full of surgeries and different things like that, I had the resources, to get the shunts, to get my legs straightened, to get all the stuff that ultimately gave me a better quality of life.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's just, it's an experience that is so unique. Not in your case and like other dwarves, but is that dwarves?
Well, I guess little people, but like it's just
because that kind of confuses me because dwarfism and then dwarf. Like, what's the difference?
Well, I don't know because, like, I guess what I mean because, like, I try to say this all again is like I don't speak for all people with dwarfism.
Oh, okay.
But like, just like little person dwarves, but like, and then you get the controversy of that aren't dwarves like mythical creatures?
Oh, that is
true. Like the fantasy element,
yeah.
and then that kind of gets invited. So kind of people shy away from that aspect of it. So I don't know. It's just again, I think, I never want people to feel like they're walking on eggshells with me. Well, number one, like let's just get it out of the way. Like sometimes people will say the word midget. And that word's like highly offensive to a lot of people with dwarfism.
Oh, wow. But
if someone accidentally says it or they say something like, I never want someone to feel like, because it's not intentional.
Yeah.
It's all about your intention. Mm-hmm. And if something's said with like a positive intention or no negative connotation, then I'm not going to hold it against them. I guess let me like get out of the hot seat. Like, is there things that you feel like with stereotypes with you that people feel like, are there certain names or things that people have called, Yeah, I don't know how to say it. Like
maybe because like I'm a Latino.
Sure.
So probably, but I remember one time in soccer, I thought somebody called me a word, but it wasn't the word that I thought because it kind of sounded similar.
Yeah.
And I was so mad. And I was like, why am I so offended? Oh, it's because we were playing soccer and it was a competitive situation.
Yeah.
Any other time I'd have been like, I don't care. Like,
sure,
it's not hurting me. It's just a word,
Yeah.
If somebody, but like you said, the intent, if somebody's like trying to make me feel bad, I'm like, come on, man. Like, okay, what are you trying to gain from this?
Of course. So it's like, it's always like that way. Like, so I just always say like, if you're talking about what he has dwarfism. That's what he has. And then what he is a little person, I guess. But and then it's always weird because like I'm not always thinking about it.
That is true.
I'm just like living in this experience, and it's always, you always feel like, because when we talked about in the last episode with it, like you're born a celebrity, kind of. True. It's like if I go to Smith's like down the street, like it's like, hey, look at that guy, but it's not because I'm Peter Dinklage. It's because like I look different, So
naturally, you don't have to try.
Yeah, which is like a little bit weird. That like I've always thought it was a weird thing that I would like want to be an actor, but it's like I don't want everybody to look at me and to stare at me when I go into public. But you want to be an actor, you know?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like, pick a lane, man.
Double famous.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of crazy too. Something that me and my friend deal with a lot, that she also has dwarfism, is people take pictures of us all the time.
Really?
All the time.
Bro, I wouldn't think about that.
But yeah. Well, and then like we were in Costco the other day.
Yeah.
And this lady was on the phone with her friend or something. I don't know who. And sometimes I get lost. If I'm with a friend, I just don't pay attention. When I feel that heat of eyes on me when I'm alone in public. You know what I mean? Like that's when I feel the stares, and that's when I hear everything. But when I'm with a friend or anybody, like I kind of just
live in the moment.
Yeah. And so this lady like had her camera and was like kind of like assumedly like showing her friend, you know, and it's kind of obvious, and it's just, and my friend was like, "Hey, I love your shoes, by the way," and she's like, "Oh, thank you," kind of calling her out for that. So I don't know. It's a weird thing that I don't. That's why I always say like I don't do acting for fame or attention, because I get enough attention. You know?
Yeah. Have you? What do you think has been the most offensive thing somebody has done? Like, has anybody ever tried to pick you up or something like that?
Oh, no, but I do remember one of the most. So there's a place in Provo. Have you been to the South End Market in Provo?
No.
So it's just a little like market. It like had, you know, a little shop. And I went in there and I was getting some groceries, and I'd go there all the time. And this lady came out of nowhere, and she just starts yelling, "I hate midgets.
What?
I hate midgets. I hate," you know, and it's like really, really intense.
Bro.
You know, it was really, really like just, you know, and I'm feeling intense because I know the clerks, I know the people that work there, and like, cause I'm a regular. And so they're like, what do you want us to do? And, you know, I can feel like all eyes are on me about how I'm handling that situation. Right. Like, and so I'm like, "Lady, I'm going to need you to stop." Like, and the clerk, you know, said, "Hey, ma'am, we're going to have to ask you to leave." And it was just really, really heavy. And because the thing is like, it doesn't affect me because it like hurts my feelings, but I work so hard to just be in the world and just exist and not have to explain myself 24/7. And I don't mind. I know that having, you know, looking different is going to come with that. But that experience was really, really just really heavy and really intense.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't know, like I think about that, and, you know, and how that also affects other people that they may not have dwarfism, or like, or there's a quote of like being offended on your behalf, but just, it wasn't about that. It was that she hurt people.
Yeah.
You know, and
her intent was negative.
Yeah. Exactly. Like her intent was just dehumanizing.
Did she ever tell you why?
No, she was really erratic, and she ended up just like leaving. And there was no conversation, and there was no explanation. It was just, she was just, maybe she was afraid. Like there's like things like that where people kind of have like a fear, which is also weird too.
Fear?
Like a fear of little people.
Really?
Yeah. When I was in I remember going when I was in 6th grade. You're like unlocking all these memories. I was in 6th grade, and I was going to my friend's house, and he goes, "Hey, just so you know, my brother's friend is afraid of little people." And I remember that, and I remember being like, "What does that mean?" You know, like I don't, like I'm just me.
Yeah.
And he was like genuinely afraid, and that was really hard for me. So like, I think for me, the one thing I always had to like figure out was number one, be comfortable with who I was.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing. And the number two, be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Like not in the sense of like, you know, working, but just knowing that not everybody feels the same way about you, and it's okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you know, I feel like life is such a mental battle that we all go through. but in your case, it's so unique because it's hard to, I don't know, is it hard to find people like you?
I mean, I don't seek other little people out.
Oh, really?
No, I just,
wow.
I don't know. Like, it's never been like something I consider a criteria for a friend. Like, if you connect with people, you connect with people.
That's true.
And I think that, like, there's local events and I don't really attend them.
Is?
Yeah. Well, there's like, so within the LPA,
what is that?
The Little People of America.
Oh yeah.
Did you watch our last episode? I told you about it.
Bro.
No, I'm just kidding.
I remember.
I told you about it,
dude.
Do your homework. I thought you. No, I'm just kidding, man. So within like the LPA, it's the Little People of America organization.
Yeah.
So you have national events where like people come from all over the country, sometimes the world, to like come to these events. Where it's like a lot of people with dwarfism.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's kind of intimidating.
Yeah.
Like, cause the other thing that was weird about it, like just a quick tangent. When we were filming TLC, like My Little Life, we went to a regional event. So you have national events, regional events, and then you have like local chapter events.
Oh,
They're kind of like local, kind of like smaller like things. But really quick, when we went to and filmed TLC, that was the weirdest experience because like, you know how I said I go dismiss or something and people stare and they're like, oh, it's different. Yeah. But now I'm at an event for people with dwarfism with a camera crew. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, and you kind of ask yourself, like, what makes me so special? Why do I get a TV show? And like, not necessarily that other people want the TV show, but you kind of ask yourself, like, what makes me, it made me feel like an outsider with people that look like me.
Yes.
And that was just a really odd phenomenon. But with like they do the national conventions and then they do the
what is it? NL.
So LPA.
LPA.
Just Little People of America.
Oh, okay.
The coolest thing though that I've like found with the LPA is I'll have like items. Like I remember when I was a kid, they had a bike that the frame was built differently, but with gears. Because for instance, if I get a bike for me, I have to buy like a Walmart kids bike generally.
Yeah.
Because the bigger bikes, the nicer bikes don't come with all the bells and whistles. Mm-hmm. So, but at these LBA events, sometimes these special vendors will have like specially made bikes. And I remember being able to put both my feet on the ground with a bike with gears.
That's cool.
And it was such a like, if you've never had something and you have it, you're like, wow. You're like, does everybody feel this? So it's just, I don't know. It's a really cool, like, that's my favorite part of it.
Little People of America.
Little
LPA.
People of America.
So only Americans can come.
Yep. That's the only people that are allowed.
Is there no like normal height people allowed?
No, I mean, like my parents came. Like,
really? That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like pretty open. I think it's more about the idea of connecting because you got to think too. These parents, like, let's say you're a parent and you have someone with dwarfism and you're talking to your neighbor's like, what's that like? But people that are there are average sized parents. Let's say, for example, you, what if you had a baby with dwarfism?
True.
I mean, you could talk to me, but I'm just saying you may go to this event. And so it's like, how do you raise, like, what's the right way? Like, how do you make them think for themselves without overprotecting them? Those kind of things where it's like there's a lot of great information.
What I bet it's like, I bet it's really cool because like you said, there's a lot of parents who meet other parents who are normal height, but they have a different way of raising their kids. So you get to learn from each other and just grow with each other. Yeah. That's really cool, bro.
Well, that's why I love, because I asked you last night, I was like, how old are you? And we exchanged that. The reason I love that is because it's like, we have such different experiences and we're about the same age, almost exactly. Mm-hmm. And we get to be like, hey, this is my experience in life and this is my experience in life. And like, we're just like, this is what I learned. What did you learn?
Have you ever, and this is on a serious note.
Okay.
Have you ever thought to yourself, I wish I would have been normal height?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
I remember being like a kid and I remember, because we grow up and we watch a lot of movies and you see romance in movies, right? Like, and I'm not just talking about sexual stuff, but I'm talking about romance. Mm-hmm. And I I never was like, I was fun, but I was never like good with the ladies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I just never.
None of us were, bro.
Yeah, I never had the stuff. And so I saw like people, but and then I saw Peter Parker struggle, and I was like, okay, maybe I'm not alone. But just overall, like one thing I remember distinctly is I would watch my like friends that got to like started dating hold hands. Oh. And it was kind of made me feel insecure because if like, you're holding hands with a girl, it's like, your hands are just like down. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like they're just hanging out. You don't think about that. But for me, it just looks like my mom is walking me around or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, and not that people would see it that way, but
it feels like that.
Yeah. Well, the way that I relate it the most to people, have you seen Tarzan, the cartoon? Yeah. So do you remember that scene when Tarzan goes into the water and he's looking at himself and he's covering himself in mud? Yeah. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
And his mom's like, what are you doing? He's like, why don't I look like everybody else? And that scene always gets me because like you spend all this time trying to look like everybody else, and I really related with Tarzan in that sense where I didn't get to feel like everybody else. Hercules, I felt the same way. He was different and born distinctly different. And his parents raised him and loved him all the same. But then he, throws that disc and knocks over all the pillars. And he always feels like, why am I different? You know, and
so true.
Yeah.
No, I think, it's really interesting because, every time I hang out with you, it's like, you're Lee. It's like the homie. I don't think it's like, it's really cool that you're a little person. I don't know why. It's just really cool to me. Because again, you have experiences that I've never experienced. And we can talk about that and be like, yo, and at the end of the day, when we have these conversations, we've had a conversation, like an hour-long conversation. It's like, and outside of this podcast, and it's like, that's just the homie. You know what I mean? It's like nothing. I wish people could just spend an hour speaking to someone who they don't understand. Just spend an hour and ask all those questions that you feel like are too offensive. Just ask them. And hopefully the other person doesn't feel offended, but just ask them and have this really cool conversation. Cause then it's like all these weird things in your head go away. Cause at the end of the day, we're all just humans. Yeah. We're just living in this rock that it's like, bro, we only live like what? Less than 100 years and then we go. It's like, there's some crazy stuff going on. So all this time that we haven't spoken, right? You've been doing your own thing, I've been doing my own thing. And what's the craziest thing that has happened with you?
Well, I watched the last episode. I keep saying that, but I watched the last one. I had already talked to you about the fatigue.
Well, let's talk about that because that's really interesting, I think. A lot of people don't know about it. Yeah.
So since then, I call it fatigue, but it's called myalgic encephalomyelitis or chronic fatigue syndrome.
Yeah.
So I got this in August of 2022, and then I got COVID a third time, and then I would get fatigue. Everybody had different symptoms, and then this fatigue just never went away. And so it kind of took my energy away, and it's so trial and error, and it's so different for everybody. Kind of like how COVID symptoms were different for everybody or are different for everybody. And one of the things that I really the fatigue just never went away. And I kind of learned about like the things with it and how it entails. And one thing I learned recently was basically when you have a part of your brain, like whenever you're like a conversation, for example, there's a part of your brain that's activated and being used. And so your brain allocates blood to that part of the brain.
Yeah.
But then what will happen is your brain will recover, but an MECFS brain doesn't recover. And so you get what's called post-exertional malaise, where you get really tired. It's called a crash generally, where people kind of just have a hard time moving, and I've experienced those, and which has been really hard for me because I'm kind of a go guy, and not necessarily always going for something, but I like to like be alive.
Yeah,
like you said, 100 years. Like I like to be alive, and it kind of took that, and that was really, it was just like really, really difficult.
Oh, I bet, bro. I mean, sometimes I have allergies, and I would take allergy pills.
Yeah,
and I would get so dead. Like I'm talking about like I had to go to sleep and it would affect me a lot because I was like, oh, I didn't get to finish what I wanted to finish. And I just stopped taking that. I'd rather have allergies or I had to switch into another medication than being like, oh, I'm dead. I can't even do this. And I really want to do it, but I can't. And then fall asleep. Like, that sucks.
Yeah.
You know, so that's kind of what you went through. It was just crash, right?
Yeah. It was, I had a thought the other day though, because when you're go-getters like you and me, you get really frustrated sometimes.
Yeah.
When you hit a wall. And it's very, very aggravating. And it's not lonely, you're just angry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's like that kind of stuff. And I think about all the time that I've lost because of it. And I was really thinking about that. But then I had a thought in the shower and I was thinking about it. And I was like, there's immediate success. There's like these explosive moments, like I don't know, like maybe going viral, like it's like, whoa, that's crazy. But I think what matters a lot to me is this gradual success. I can't get rid of the fatigue. I can't get rid of, I don't want to, but like get rid of my dwarfism. But I can gradually succeed and get to a point where you have the freedom to live the way, like have the success you want, even despite having, the fatigue and whatnot.
Yeah. How do you feel now? Are you feeling better? Like, did it go away?
No, it's not going anywhere. I mean, for the time being, it ebbs and flows. But it's funny. It was like getting a condition again, right? Because we were just talking about dwarfism, and then I joined a Facebook group of people that have it. Yeah. And there's people that have it way worse than I do. Way, way worse.
Really?
They're bedridden, and they can't do anything, and it kind of takes away their life, and so yeah, like it's a very like small group of people, and so I there's lots of quotes that people will post in there, and it's really good. Like people complain in there sometimes, and they're warranted with it. Those complaints are warranted, but then they'll post quotes, and I get really inspired by those, like what people say, because it's like, oh, okay, like I'm okay, and there's this really intense connection that I know that other people are experiencing, like the same symptoms. Yeah. And it helps a lot.
That's cool, bro. No, I'm happy that you found a place where other people are going through the same thing so you can connect with them and not feel alone. Because sometimes when you go through things and if you don't have the right community, you feel alone. And feeling alone is not fun at all.
Yeah.
I want to ask you this. I've always been wanting to ask you. I don't know why.
Okay.
But do little people believe in aliens?
I mean, again, like that's like, I don't know. Like I don't like necessarily.
You
like,
don't believe in aliens?
I don't know.
Lee,
I don't.
Come on, bro.
No, I don't know. Wait, why did you want to ask me that?
I don't know. I
don't know. Because then I don't know, like, because then you're like putting a group in and you're saying like, hey, if you have this, do you think this? And it's like, but then I have to ask myself, why do you think that they think that? I don't know.
Well, I just think that, like, again, we're different in a way like that. So it's like, I want to make sure that it's like, no, we're not different. We all think the same thing.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Oh, gotcha. Oh, yeah. See, ironically, I thought your question was like, oh, you're trying to put me in a group. But then you're like, oh, no. And then on the other side,
I'm trying to put everybody in a group, Lee.
Yeah. I get it. I was like, what's the right answer? Can I call a friend? You know what I mean? Like phone a friend. And then have like a group of people like Family Feud, like, good answer. Like,
that'd be cool.
I don't know.
Wait, so you believe in aliens or not?
What?
Do you believe in aliens?
Is this like, are you going to clip this? I'm trying to think like, do I believe in aliens? I don't know. Well, you're asking me a question that I don't really like think about. I don't know. Do you believe in aliens?
100%, bro.
Can you help me? I'm doggy paddling here. Like, well, what makes you like? And this isn't like what? Whoa, really?
Yeah.
But like, what?
Are you questioning me?
Have you had an experience that made you?
Okay, so one time I think I saw a UFO with my friend. Right.
Okay.
It moved weird. It went back and forth, and I was like, "What the heck is this?" And I never saw it again.
Sure.
But I just believe that it's such a big place, the universe, that it's like, why not?
There's just no way. Like it just, I think the thing with me is like I've never had an encounter like that, and so like I look at that, but I definitely like think it's possible. Yeah, it has to be. You know, like we're like the only planet.
Yeah, like
to
that's
have
crazy.
like life, but that just probably like brings like. That probably just shows that I'm always thinking about just me, I guess. you know, I don't think about the big wide world.
Selfishly.
Yeah, I'm like just in my room, doing my job, thinking about my acting, thinking about what I'm getting from this whole experience. I'm like, is there other people out there? I don't know.
What do you believe in? Like, what's the craziest thing that you would be like, dang?
Like conspiracy?
Yeah.
Man, you make me seem like a fun person, but now I'm not a fun person because I don't have any crazy like crazy beliefs. Like
you
about,
have to, bro.
About what? Like about what?
Life, like just anything. Like I don't know.
Like a conspiracy theory?
Yeah,
or just
something
like,
that you heard that you're like, holy crap, that could be real, but that's crazy, and I don't want people to know because if people know, they think I'm crazy.
I don't know. I feel like I'm giving you such a boring answer, but I don't know. I don't really.
Nothing?
Can you give me an example of like I feel like I'm like, can I look at your answers?
Like I believe that there's another side of the wall in Antarctica, and then there's other places, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't believe it, but it's like it makes sense. Like you can't get past the ice wall. So it's like, what's there? Like, I guess there's people that won't let you pass. Like, it's impossible to get through it. So it's like, what's in the other side?
Okay, I do have something for you.
Okay.
It's not what you expect.
Okay.
But I'll play your game. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, no. So basically, there is something that people talk to me about. They'll come up and talk to me. And I've never like taken the time to do the research, but they go, do you know about the town of Little People?
Oh, in Utah?
Yeah. People will talk to me about that, and I'm like, no.
So do you need a special card?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't. Do you? Like, so no. People will talk to me about there is supposedly like a town.
I've heard it's true.
You've heard it?
Yeah. Well, I drove by it.
Oh, you drove by it?
Yeah.
You've been there.
It's by what's the high school of
East
High
High?
School Music? Yes, it's by East High. Have you heard about that?
No, I mean, I've heard about it, but I didn't. Number one, I didn't know it was by East High.
Yeah.
And two, I don't know about how do you like. But okay. Let's say that exists.
Okay.
Right. Let's just like play in the arena that exists. That's gonna suck to have like an exclusive, like Dwarfism or not, just exclusive community, and having people trying to debunk it. You know what I mean? Like, because you show up at your door, you're like, is this the town?
Yeah. No. I guess they don't let it when people normal size, they get mad at that.
Really?
Yeah.
But is it real?
I think it is.
See
I've never been there.
See, you found look at this. We found something to like debate about.
Well, I remember we would play soccer. We would practice soccer by East High.
Okay.
And then we would drive, and somebody would tell me, "Oh, that's the place." And then it has a road to go, and I'm just like,
"Did you go up
I never
road?
did because they said that if you do go, they get mad at that. Like
really?
they think that you're just trying to play a game or a prank or whatever. Well, yeah,
but isn't that what everybody like? If you hear about something, that's exactly what you're doing.
I know you want. I wish I could just see.
Sorry, we're lost. Do you know where the chevron is? Like, I don't think anybody's doing that.
It's like a little chevron.
But like, and here's the other thing. I don't mean to like, because I know, you want to know about aliens and like conspiracy theories. But like, the other thing people will do is like, they're like, "Hey, do you know John?" I'm like,
John.
Who's that? And they're like, he's like lives over there. And then I like put two and two. Does he have dwarfism like me? Yeah. Do you know? And I'm like, no, I don't. Like we're not all, it's
not a secret conspiracy. It's not a secret like
no. Well, and that's
society.
the thing. That's the thing that bugs me about things like that.
Well, little people of America.
No. Listen, different. And I'll argue this. I don't know. I'm having so much fun. We never get to like we're always like last interview. It was just all serious and emotional. Now we're just jamming, but like it's like a different beat. But no, I remember because see now I'm thinking about no. I don't look at the LP the same way. No, I don't because listen. Just hear me out. Okay, this little town. You're exclusively there.
Yeah,
you don't leave. Mm-hmm. Right. Actually, like, I think I talked to you like Mr. Beast, for example, he bought a community for all his employees.
Oh,
like people will do that.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
if they're like mega rich or they have a company.
I want to do that with my family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they'll buy a community and like, so everybody can live there. That works there. My thing with that is like the LPA, it's like you can come together, catch up, kind of like what we're doing right now. You know, it's like we don't see each other all the time. In fact, I don't think the last time we saw each other was since the last episode.
Yeah.
So, you know, case in point. But it just, when you have stuff like that, I like, even as someone who has it, like, I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Like, why? Like, there's just so many arenas to that. And then what I don't like about it is it ends up reinforcing the idea that like, oh, like little people like being together, you know, and it like reinforces that like stigma, I guess. And I just don't really jam with that. But yeah.
Well, it's interesting because, you know, like there's places where Latinos like to be together. A lot of Latinos, or like black people like to be together, and white people like to be together.
Sure.
So it's like, you would think that it's like, oh, there's a place where you see a lot of people who are like you, and it's like, oh, cool. I don't know.
But
you know?
let me throw you a curveball. Are you ready?
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna throw you a curveball. I'm serious. So like, but what about the people that are like have dwarfism, but they're black?
Oh.
Do you see what, or like Latino?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, then they have to ask them like, what do I identify more with? Right? Because because having dwarfism isn't a race.
Yeah.
It's not that. There's not like a culture with it.
But it is a group though.
It is. It is. But what I'm saying though is like when people, sometimes people will try to like group. There was for example, this may get a little racy, but I'll do my best. Not racy, but not well, you know what I mean? Like little like riding the line. Anyway, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get canceled. But anyway, I'm trying not to. I'm not even anybody yet though. So like just, but anyway, so there was a guy. He reached out to me, and well, no, there was a casting call. He put out a casting call for a black little person. Oh, and all these people started tagging me. You know, to be like, hey, no, like, well, because they were like, there was black and then there's little person. Yeah. Right. And so they're like, well, I know Lee. And so they tag me, you know, so I'm coming and I'm like getting all these notifications for the casting call. Yeah. And so I end up like going, you know, I'm like, guys, I'm not black. Like I don't fit the description, you know, and I ended up like talking to the person and talking to the friend. And when we talked about it, I ended up being like, why are you looking for like, you know, like a little person of color? Like I'm just, that's so specific, you know? And I was like, why? And well, it's like, well, I mean, a white little person has some diversity. A black little person has more diversity. An LGBTQ person with dwarfism has more diversity. And I kind of had to be like, wait. And I was like, wait a minute. Just so you know, those things are independent of each other. Does that make sense? Like those are separate things. Yeah. And kind of just grouping it into like the ultimate, like, oh, this is like the ultimate diversity casting, I guess. Yeah. It's like, what I'm saying is being black and having dwarfism, while have similarities, are completely different experiences and independent of each other. Yeah. You know, and knowing what comes with that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, yeah, it is tough because it is, you know, like you're a white little person. Yeah. You know, but I wonder if a black little person feels the same as you, or a Latino little person feels the same as a black person, little person. You know, I wonder if we all just go through that, but you guys go through extra because you have now dwarfism. You know what I mean? I wonder if there's still a difference.
There was a guy on my mission. He has dwarfism.
Really?
Yeah. It was actually a really cool experience. So it was in the Philippines. Yeah. And you know, in the Philippines, they love like dancing and stuff. And he was a break dancer. Oh, wow. So he did like cool break dancing and stuff, but very intensely shy. And we got, you know, and that's the other thing too. Like I'm social, so they're probably like, you can't just interview everybody that has dwarfism too, right? Like that's just like, it's like, oh, you have dwarfism, so you must be like super social. It's like, not really, not all the time. Yeah. But this guy that I taught, it was actually the coolest experience because I gave him, so we ended up teaching him, and before I left the area, I gave him one of my shirts.
Oh.
And do you know how special that was?
Yeah.
Because think about it. Like, if I taught you and I gave you my shirt, you're like, like, how do I put this on? Like, thanks, I'll just have it. Like, I guess I have your shirt. But to like see someone that could like really appreciate it, and especially that didn't have the money to like have that, like a proper pair of pants and a shirt and that kind of thing. That was really special too. So I never want to shy away from like the idea that I love to associate it, but I never want to force it, is what I'm trying to say.
No,
like,
that makes sense.
that's kind of why I don't always go to, because I don't want to force a connection. Because does every like black person get along with every black person? And, and do you get along with every Latino? You know what I mean?
No, we all have different personalities.
Right.
I've been wanting to ask you this too.
Okay.
Where do you get your clothes?
Oh, the store. No.
No, I know, but think about like.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
You're stylish too. And
Thanks.
I'm like, I never see a kid that dress like you. You know what I mean? So it's like, where do you get it, bro?
Well, if it's not sponsored, I won't say it. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't have that much power. No.
We need to get you a Verity shirt, bro.
Huh?
We need to get you a Verity shirt.
And it's kind of fit.
Stay
It can't be
Verity's.
big on me.
Yeah, I know.
And then I won't wear it. I'll hang it up.
I got you.
I won't wear it in public. But but no, the thing I always do, I mean, because there's two routes, okay? There's two roads. One is the kids section.
Yeah.
There's some stuff there where it doesn't really have like a dinosaur on it.
Yeah,
Although
that's true.
yeah, like there's some cool snazzy kids stuff. Like number one is that. Number two is altering. Like having, getting
that?
alterations on your clothes. So like if like the pants are too long. So my mom growing up would always like alter my clothes.
Really?
Alter my pants and alter my church pants or alter like whatever I had. So she worked really hard too to like make them. So with jeans, like sometimes if you like just hem them up, they're just like big.
Yeah.
So she would like bring them in. So it just like they look like real jeans.
Yeah.
And so she would kind of like do all she could to make my clothes look like any other kid's clothes.
That's so cool.
So
bro.
yeah, I know that was like really, that always meant a lot. But yeah, I go to there. I just kids clothes, and then
What about online? Do you order online?
no, that's like, see again, everybody's different, but I don't like love the idea of online unless like I've had it before,
Yeah.
or it's like something I already know that's gonna fit me. Because I'm actually kind of lazy with clothes. I don't like trying on clothes.
Yeah.
Like, when you like go to the store and your mom's like, try this on. And I'm like, okay. And you're like, I'm already done. Like, but we have 3 more pants to try on, but I don't want to. But I'm buying these pants for you. You know what I mean?
You have to.
Yeah, but like, I don't want to. But no, I've never like tried. I'm pretty lazy. Like these shorts, for example, I wear these like every day.
Okay.
But
Hell yeah.
I feel like
you
I'm
clean
like,
them every day though, right?
every day?
Yeah.
No, once a week.
You wear the same short every day,
Yeah.
and you clean them once a week.
Yeah. When I do
Come
my
on,
laundry.
Lee.
Am I supposed to wash them every day?
Yeah, you're supposed to at least have 5 different shorts.
No, I don't care.
I don't know, bro. I have this like, I don't know if it's a what's that called when you're like scared of something?
A paranoia?
Yeah, I have a paranoia with like used clothes. Like meaning like I have my clothes has to be clean all the time, or else I don't like the feeling of it. You know what I mean?
Really?
Like it's just, especially boxers. Like you.
Well, okay. There's like, yeah. I'm not like,
to be.
it's different. Not that kind of shorts. Like these kind of shorts.
No,
I don't
but
know.
come on. It's still like, it feels like, oh man, I already used this ones. You don't care.
It's kind of like Steve Jobs, except like I don't have like, where it's like you simplify your day, where you're not like, no, I didn't know that was going to trigger. Like, I was like,
You triggered me.
well, you know what's funny about that though? Like that's why when you talk about yourself, like talk about you're like, this is how I do things. You're like, you do things like that?
Yeah.
You know, like there's like, oh,
It's like when the cereal is like, okay, do you put the milk or the cereal and the, wait, do you put the milk or the cereal first?
so I put in the cereal, then the milk.
Cereal and then milk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, because
Okay.
there's some crazy people who put the milk first and then put the cereal.
What are some of your other food? Let's be like Gen Z X.
What do you mean? Like
Well, things that like with food that I don't know.
like how I eat them?
No, like food you don't like. Like I don't like cucumbers, for example.
You don't like cucumbers?
No, I hate cucumbers.
Why?
I don't know why. I just hate it. Like I just hate it. Like I just.
Bro, I don't know what's wrong with me, but I like probably anything.
Really?
Like I will probably eat anything.
Yeah, no, and I'm mostly that way with most things, and I'll eat a cucumber, but.
Oh no! I know. What's those olives?
Oh, the little green olives.
I freaking.
Oh, those are gross.
I hate olives, bro.
Olives across the board, like black and green olives.
All of them.
Really?
I don't like them.
Really?
Like the taste, it's just like I want to like throw up.
But you didn't ever like put them on your fingers as a kid? you know what I'm talking about? Do you have like the alien fingers?
Well, we were in El Salvador. I never knew about olives until I came here to this country.
You're like, do you want some olives? You're like, sure.
No, bro, they were so nasty to me. Like probably the worst thing to eat.
What's something from Ecuador you feel like everyone should try?
Ecuador?
At least.
What do you mean?
Wait, where'd you say you're from?
El Salvador.
Oh.
Ecuador? And that'd be crazy from you.
I'm so sorry. I meant El Salvador.
Yeah,
oh my gosh. I'm so sorry.
Pupusas. Have you heard about that?
What's that?
Bro, it's
I'm sorry, by the way.
What Mexicans were never able to do with tacos, right?
Okay.
Because it's like you get a tortilla, right? Mm-hmm. And it like, no, you get that masa. The masa is the flour for the tortilla. And then you smoosh it with water or whatever. And then you put cheese and you put meat in there. And you put beans. And you put it together and then you cook it. And then it comes out like this beautiful, cheesy, flavor beans and meat tortilla. And it's like full with it. But it's inside of it. And then you eat it with like salsa and curtido. Curtido is like, I don't know what I'd say it in English. But it's really good. Like it's, bro.
That's awesome.
You got to try it. I gotta get you somewhere so you can eat some.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Try it on camera. Ooh, this is great.
Oh God.
Love it.
Is there a difference when you hang out with little people and normal height people?
Well, not yes and no, because I feel like that's like okay, let me separate the experiences. Number one is seeing someone else with dwarfism. Like when you don't know them and you both have it, it's like deer in the headlights. Cause you're like, you know what I mean? Cause it's like,
yo.
Yeah, well, it's like everybody's going to assume you're like, hey, what's up, dude? I see LPA last week. But like, it doesn't like that at all. It's kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know, at least for me, where it's like, hey, how's it going? Good, how are you? You know what I mean? Like, and the weird part that I always think about it, and like I guess I'm overthinking, is when you have like you're in a store and like you're having that interaction, and other people are like, whoa, whoa.
Well, bro, I don't really, other than you, like I haven't seen a little person.
Really?
So it's just like
ever?
No, like outside.
Like,
I've seen it somewhere else, but like in Utah, let's say, Provo.
Really?
I don't see anybody else.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. But again, so if you're not seeing little people in Provo, I'm not seeing little people in Provo. So when I do, it's like, whoa. Like, you know what I mean? And for you, it's like undercover. Yeah. If you don't react to it, it's like, you could be like, whoa, that's cool. And then you don't say anything and you go on your way. Yeah. But when you both have it, you have to acknowledge it. You have to be like, hey.
Just high fives. It's like,
nothing. Like, well, it's just it's just I don't know. Like there's that. I think the other thing too that's really my friend and I, we've had a lot of deep conversations, and we just have really different perspectives. You know, and it's not like necessarily arguments, but it's like, oh, I feel this way about this, or I feel this way about this. Yeah. And so it's like your experiences are so independent of each other. And sometimes you get this idea, and that's the other reason why I try to be careful. Like I'm not the voice of anything. Yeah. Because everybody's experience with dwarfism is so different. True. You know, they're like, if you got someone else here, they'd be like, oh, I don't, and you showed them this conversation, they might be like, oh, I don't feel that way. I disagree with that. That's wrong. Yeah. Because when I was on My Little Life on TLC, that was kind of the whole spiel is I didn't hang out with other little people. And then Michelle, who was on the show, did. and she
Yeah.
loved going to LPA, and I didn't really want to go, and I didn't really have the feeling to go, and it just felt like when I talked to you about forced. So I'm like, I already have my friends.
Yeah.
I don't need to go here to make friends. But for her, she was like, I love this. I love like bumping into my friends, and it's just different for everybody.
Yeah, bro. I mean, it's just, it has to be such a cool experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like, then again, it's like, I've never known any different.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
Are your parents normal size?
yeah.
See, yeah. So you've always just been around that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Always a center of attention. Just kidding. Not really. But
how like, do you ever speak to your parents and like ask them like how proud are they of like seeing you live just a normal life? Like you're just like I said, the homie.
well,
You're doing these big things, bro. You're out, you're living life, and then that's gonna be tough for them because growing up, I bet it was like a tough thing to deal with. You know what I mean?
in what way?
Just like it's not the normal thing. Like they had to learn from the bottom. Like they had to understand.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
but my dad had an experience, and I want to be this is like very private. I had an experience with having a baby before me that had some pretty intense. She had some really intense health. Had some really intense health complications. But again, I want to like that's not my thing to share.
Yeah.
But my dad didn't even look at it.
Wow.
He never was like, oh, this is gonna be so hard. How are we gonna do this? Like,
no, but just like man, like everything turned out good. Like it's beautiful, bro. Like when it's so different, where you're like, not like, oh man, but it's like, oh, it's gonna be tough. Like, of course, like I don't know anything about this. It's super different,
Yeah. It definitely is like a learn as you go experience. But like again, that kind of comes back to going to LPA stuff.
Yeah.
Where they would talk to their parents, and we were on. We went when I was a little kid. I got to do like a fashion show. My uncle gave me like this biker jacket, and like Discovery Channel was there.
That's cool.
And it was like in Salt Lake, so we were like there. We got to go because these conventions are pretty expensive to like go because like they get hotels, you have to fly there, you have to stay there. You know what I mean? Like you have to kind of like have a little bit of money.
Bro, I need to go with you to one of these.
Yeah, you're like,
that'd
whoa.
be cool.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'd be like just as nervous. Like, not, I don't know if you're nervous, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, I don't come and I don't know anybody. So, because it's just people at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, but my dad and they got to film like the teenage, like they did all the teen events. Mm-hmm. And my dad, and we were on they filmed like little excerpts for Discovery Channel, and like we were like on it, and they filmed, so it was my parents, it was just always kind of integrated. I remember there's one family we went to, because when you're a kid, you're not really thinking about how you look.
Yeah.
You're just playing. Mm-hmm. But then I remember when my parents brought me to the zoo, we went to the zoo with this family, and this couple had dwarfism. And I remember it was the first time that my dad saw me like look at myself and look at them. You know what I mean? Like I was like, wow. I was realizing I was like the same.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I don't look like everybody else. Yeah. That was a pretty like, I don't know, eye-opening experience, but it was just a really like, I guess, does that answer your question? Like my parents just never.
But no, but like even just as a son, like yes, you had dwarfism, but you literally tackled life, bro. Like you're living it and you're doing good. So it's just like your parents got to be proud of you because you had to like double had to go through things, right?
Yeah. Well, my dad's always been like my best friend.
Oh, that's
he's
amazing.
Someone I always like just talk to about everything. And at the same time, like you always want to make your dad proud, of what you're doing. Yeah. And I don't know, it's just I can't really think of a time when I wasn't connected, and I know he's proud. Like I'll send him my acting stuff if I book something, or my music if I make a song, or he always came to like my mascot events. Like, here's me plugging everything I've done. But like you just can't. You know what I mean? Like he was there, and he's been there for like all of it. So it's like I never felt alone, and I always felt empowered.
Wow.
And I always one thing I've always felt like for me just is I try to make the most of things, and that includes making the most of my dwarfism.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like being a sellout. There was a role I turned down, and they wanted me to play. It was actually recently. It was just for a local commercial, and I want to be careful because I don't want to like be like, ew, they offered me this role. Heck no.
Oh, okay.
You know, I just want to be careful with that.
Yeah.
But they offered me this role. It was decent money. And I said no because they essentially, have you seen Austin Powers?
Yeah.
They wanted me to play like Mini-Me.
Mm.
And I said no. And they're like, well, do you have any other like people that you think would like with dwarfism? I'm like, well, if I don't want to, I'm not going to like necessarily ask like other people like to do it. So, sorry. I don't want to like ask other people to like do something I'm not willing to do.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I just asked because, you know, my girlfriend's little brother grew up with Down syndrome, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So I seen him since he was a little kid.
Yeah.
And I see how he's grown up and like learned all these things. And it's like, now he's learning how to speak. And it's just like, I mean, that's a total different thing, but it's just super cool how you might think like, man, this was really hard for him, but now he's like thriving. Like he's so happy. And to me, I'm just like, that makes me so happy. So when you see something that other people might think, oh, it's going to be hard for him, but then it turns out that it's like the coolest thing ever, like that's just super beautiful.
How does that inspire you?
Oh, bro. I think when I first, you know, met him, he was a baby. He was very small. He had Down syndrome. But before I met him, I never had like the, compassion for others. Like it was just me. Like I don't care about anybody else.
Yeah.
But when I met him, it's just so beautiful that you can care about somebody else's situation more than yours. Because it's like, bro, like there was moments that he would get sick and the whole family would be so scared and we'd be like, fuck, what's gonna happen? You know? And now you see him super happy and running around, he's healthy. You're just like, wow, you know, that's beautiful. And just like when you were talking about your father and like him being there, I just have so much respect for people who care and who show up for others, bro. And if I would see your dad, I would hug him, bro. I'd be like, hell yeah.
Yeah. The one thing, you know, like I said, the childhood was definitely not, my childhood wasn't hard in the sense that like I had a good childhood.
Yeah.
The one thing is just like having the surgeries and stuff.
Oh,
so I had to have both my legs straightened. And so they break the tibia and fibia and then they put in a plate and then you're in 2 casts. I was in 2 casts for 8 weeks. And then I had to learn to walk again and I had to go through lots of physical therapy and again, it kind of brings you back to like, are other kids having to do this?
Yeah.
Like other kids aren't having to like spend all their time like at the doctor's office and surgery and whatnot. And so like there is that where my dad would always has always handled it amazing, where we would be sitting in the physical therapist's office and waiting for the doctor to come in or the physical therapist, I guess. And we would read Reader's Digest, like the funny parts and talk about like the funny moments we were reading. And it was just something where my dad made something that wasn't supposed to be normal as close to normal as possible. Because I may have had a different life, but I didn't have an absent father.
Yeah.
You know, and he never was like, you're like special. He's like, you're special to me because you're my son, not because of this thing that you have or this condition you have.
Yeah. No, that's beautiful, bro. I think I really truly believe that struggle is beautiful. Everything I've been through, I'm glad. No matter how hard it's been, the fact that I went through it, it's like a checklist. And I'm like, I did it. Like, nobody can tell me anything after I went through hard stuff. I would have hated if it wasn't a hard life for me. So I imagine you have so much knowledge because you've been through all that struggle. You know, it's not easy, bro. For 100%, I bet it's not easy to be a little person in the world. It's tough.
They did back in like 2002, like when I went to an LPA conference, they give you like a little VHS, like it's little like photos of like everybody and like the fun and stuff, like the memories, I guess.
Yeah.
And I keep asking, like, have you seen this song? Have you listened to this song? Do you know this? But there's a song by Five for Fighting called Superman. Have you heard it?
No.
Where it's like, I can't stand to fly. I'm not that naive. Men weren't meant to fly with the clouds between their knees. You know, like it's a really, really good song. And they played that and as a kid, like I had no idea like how meaningful that song was.
Impactful.
Yeah. And thinking about it now, like it always makes me emotional because it's like, I don't want to say I'm Superman, but it's like, that's kind of why, like, I watch people like Superman and Clark Kent, and like people talk about Superman a lot and they're like, oh, he's OP or he's overpowered. He's got too much. And he's like, but no, he's like alone.
Yeah.
You know, and like having all this, you know, or Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. Like having those characters in my life and being able to watch them and live their life and carry it with honor and the weight that came with, you know, and what it means to be that kind of person and what you're taking on and what you're giving up.
Yeah.
You know, to have that. So it's just, those kind of things have always like stuck out to me, those characters. And because you get like, I'm grateful that I'm social and that I can talk and I know how to communicate and that I'm willing to talk to people about what I have. But there's moments when it gets heavy,
I bet, bro.
you know, and when it gets heavy and, you know, I want to make sure that I'm, just because I'm social and like, I guess popular, if you will, like that I'm saying the right things because I don't speak for everyone, you know?
Yeah. Well, bro, again, we're all human.
Yeah.
And we're living in this rock where it's like, you're supposed to know what you're doing. And bro, my whole life, I never knew what I was doing until probably now. Now I get to think for myself and I have self-control and I have a developed consciousness, I would say. And it feels good, but I know that that's not all. When I'm 50, when I'm 60, it's going to be like, oh, I knew nothing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's just this constant growth and becoming a new self every time that you had no idea about before.
Yeah.
And I just can't wait to see what you know when you do turn 50. You know, it's like when you're an old person, but you're a little person, but you're old. And it's like, holy crap, what the heck, you know?
Yeah.
That's going to be very interesting as well.
Yeah.
And again, it's just like me. Like when I'm an older person, it's like I'm no longer young. Like we go through this life thinking that we're so different, but no matter what thing you have or whatever, we're all kind of the same, bro.
Yeah, that's the other thing that I always try to do is draw like a through line because you do get in these, because, you know, you're talking to me like, oh, what's it like being in your neck of the woods? And I try to relate it to something, and you know, to something that you may like. I try to relate it to something that you've experienced, because then it kind of blurs those lines. Yeah. Because like initially you're like, well, maybe like initially in your head, you're like, I wonder what it's like to be him. You know, and it's like, I wonder what it's like when he wakes up and gets ready for the day. Like, does he need to get a stool all the time? Like, does he need to ask for help all the time? Like all these kind of questions. But at the end of the day, like, I never like the idea that my life is any more unique or special than anybody else's, because I get a lot of attention, but that doesn't make my life any more special, because what about all the other people that have like things you don't see? Yeah. That will never be visible to anybody, that they're not getting attention for. Attention is like, I don't want to say attention is cheap, but it's important if you do, like, that's why it is such a responsibility, you know, like, cause I have to be like, hey, you know, like I have dwarfism if you want to look it up. Like, cause a lot of times the parents don't know, you know, about, you know, they don't know what dwarfism is. Yeah. You know, they don't know any of this. So I don't know. I just never liked the idea of like separating my experience from others.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's so. It will always be interesting, just like you don't know my life,
right?
And I don't know your life, so it's just getting together and trying to understand each other. That's what's gonna help,
I have a question.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
Am I allowed to? It's like, because I know. What do you think, without thinking too much about it? Because we became like kind of fast friends.
Yeah.
And like we've done this twice now. And like, again, like I was like nervous when you like started it. I was like, am I going to be okay? Like, am I going to like, I feel like rusty kind of, because you're doing this all the time and you're on it. You're thinking, you're going, you're rolling, you're thinking about the next question.
Yeah.
What do you think, or maybe you just feel this connection with everybody you interview. So maybe I'm not so special, but what do you think makes us such like, what do you think connects us so well?
I think I've always felt different, and not in a good way. It was just like, I've always felt like I don't really have friends. Like I have people that I know and that I hang out with and stuff like that. But throughout my life, I've had to let go of so many people. Soccer, all that world is kind of like put aside. Mm-hmm. I don't talk to them. Mm-hmm. And maybe once in a while I'll talk to them. Music, all the people are set aside. So I've always lived this like lonely life where it's like me and just the people that are around me, right? Yeah. That's it, right? Mm-hmm. And I feel like I get you, and not in like the dwarfism, nothing like that. It's just, I get you. Life is just fucking hard.
Yeah.
And with someone like me, like normal height or anything, like I get it. It's like hard. But bro, it's harder for you. You know what I mean? Like the fact is that we're the same. We go through the same mental stuff, same this and that, and like growth and becoming a man and everything. But you had this like wall that you had to freaking break through. You know what I mean? And that to me, that's honorable. And that's super cool to me. So when I speak to you, it's just like, bro, you really been through it, bro. And I respect people who go through shit. People who go through struggle, bro. I just want to be like, bro, we did this. We're still alive, bro.
Yeah.
We're in this rock, still freaking living life.
Well, first of all, thank you. Yeah. That's really, really kind. I'm getting like emotional. I get emotional like a lot with stuff, like shows. Like I'll watch shows like, I'm not going to say, well, there's the new Batman show I was telling you about that, yeah. And there's a part, I don't want to spoil it, but let's just say there's a character that like isn't a good, I'm kind of spoiling it. I'm kind of like getting there. But anyway, he just sacrifices. Let's just say he sacrifices himself.
Okay.
And I won't say when or anything. And it's just, I think when creators or actors or entertainers or however you want to frame it, look at each other, you're putting it all on the line.
Everything, bro.
All on the line. And you're invested in it and you believe in it. And then people are like, oh, if you believe in it, you must be arrogant because you think you, and it's like, no, I'm doing this because I'm driven to do it.
Yeah.
Like, and I talked to you last night and it's like, you don't even, like, you're driven to do this. You wake up, sure, like, you have to set up the camera and the lights and do all that, but you're just driven to do it. Yeah. And I think you get inspired by people that drive in the cars that they're driven, they have all this energy and they drive.
Yeah.
And it's like, how? Like, how do you, like, do it? And so I don't know. It's just I'm glad. Like my thing I'm most grateful for is that I just have a friend. Because I always we've talked about the lonely at the top thing.
Yeah.
But it's like nice to have friends that go, I get it.
Yeah.
Like I get it.
And that's because you've done really amazing stuff, bro. You really done really cool stuff. And to me, I'm like, like you said, you get it. You understand how hard this is. Plus, again, you're double because people extra look at you. So it's like even harder. You know what I mean? So I can just imagine freaking the actor of Game of Thrones. What's his name?
Peter Dinklage.
Yeah, I know him by Tyrion, but Peter Dinklage.
He has a name.
Yeah, but it's just, I I feel like I'm not just the only one, but everybody was so in love with that character.
Yeah.
Right? And he made it look like, how do you make dwarfism look that cool? That's crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he became cooler than other people. You know what I mean? Maybe even Jon Snow and him were like, tied, but it's crazy how amazing. I can just, bro, if he's already small and then he goes he can't go to the grocery store. It's like impossible. He even says when he wins one of the awards, he goes, well, thank you for not letting me go to directors. He's like, thank you for not letting me be normal anymore, because he was already not normal, but now it's extra weight that he has to deal with.
Yeah. And I honestly, well, in the heart, actually, if you want to talk about who this would be hard for, it's him.
Oh, 100%.
Because let me tell you why. He is super introverted.
Ooh.
Really, really introverted. He doesn't, I crave this stuff. Not like being on camera, but like I love talking to people.
Cool.
So this is like, I'm so excited. Him, he's like, I'll do that, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, it's like not his thing.
Yeah.
And so like, I always imagine that it's like hard to like be driven to like, the girl, like my friend, she always says, like I have like golden retriever energy, and she has like kind of like, and he has like black cat energy, And so and it's funny too, like because there's a clip, of this like little person interviewer, and he's like walking the red carpet, and he's just trying to do his thing, and and people are trying to get interviews for their like media companies or whatever, and she goes May, and he's like, hey, like it's like, oh, this is already, you know what I mean? And so it's like, I don't know, I think it'd be really hard to be extremely introverted. Like I almost think it's harder for him.
Yeah.
Now I think he's a more talented actor than I am, but he's also really introverted. So he's like in a hard spot where he like owes the media like himself.
Yeah.
But he ultimately just wants to be an actor.
Yeah.
He doesn't, I don't know. He just wants to act. And
well, it was cool when you talked about, how you got a lot of responsibility comes, like I believe that I love responsibility, bro. When you fall in love with responsibility, your life changes. Because now you are not doing it for yourself. Like, I always think this is not for me. Sure, it's the Maikon show. It has my name in the title, but it's not for me. This is for Utah. I know for a fact Utah's going to need an outlet, right? Utah needs a place where the amazing people that we have here can be shown, can be like, blasted everywhere, right? And I want to become that person. I want to become that hub where it's like, if you're talented, if you have a beautiful story, come here. You'll become the biggest thing. You know what I mean? Just to put that magnifying glass on somebody.
Yeah.
And it's tough because you got to sacrifice yourself. There's been many conversations that I had with my girl where it's like, what are you doing? And then you have to show her that this makes sense. So you have to sacrifice yourself. You have to do those things that nobody else wants to do. You have to work hard. You have to stay up till 4 a.m, wake up at 8, go to work. You know what I mean? Like, you have to do this type of things. And you're slowly breaking yourself in order for others to reap the, what's it called? Reap the
rewards?
The rewards, yeah. And others will reap the rewards.
Yeah.
And to me, but that sacrifice is so noble. Like, I'm excited for that.
I kind of have an idea that while you were saying that is I actually think you really admire people that make sacrifices.
Oh,
because nobody has to. Nobody needs to.
Yeah.
Right? Like everybody can live like a pretty big life, but like when you see people make sacrifices to do certain things, you're like, whoa, that's a big deal. What did you give up? It's kind of like in Avengers Infinity War.
Yeah.
When Thanos is talking to his daughter.
Oh, yeah.
Remember and she goes, what did it cost? And he goes, everything. You know what I mean? God. So like that
wow.
So like that kind of moment is you really admire people that make sacrifices.
Yeah.
And know what kind of sacrifices they've had to make to get to these situations, whether it be like not just entertainers, but anybody you've interviewed.
Yeah. I could never hate, bro. I could never, there's no if somebody's doing better than me, there's a reason why. I want to get to know what did you do? Because I know that was not easy, because I know what I'm sacrificing.
Yeah.
I know what I'm going through. So if you're doing better than me, it's because you sacrificed double than what I sacrificed.
Can I ask you kind of an interesting question?
Yeah, for sure.
What is your, because it kind of blew up a little bit over the past couple of years, nepotism. And do you know what
I've heard about it, but I'm not sure 100% what it is.
So nepotism essentially is that you're like born into it. So let's say, for example,
okay.
You have Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan, two big actors, and their son Jack Quaid is a famous actor.
Okay.
So like when you're kind of born into like this environment that allows you to you don't really have to make sacrifices. Like you just it's just like, here you go.
Given to you.
Yeah. And it's kind of given to you. I don't know.
What do I think about it?
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Really?
I sure don't like it because it shows a lack of struggle, a lack of experience, right? I believe that if we want to get somewhere, we have to go through from 1 to 10, right?
Sure.
We have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so on.
Yeah.
So 10. If you go from 1 to 6 with no problem, literally do that jump, you will always fall. I don't care who you are. The greatest people of all time have always fell. You are tested every single time without a miss every single time, right?
Yeah.
You're tested. If you go from 1 to 6, you're going to get tested. You're going to go for 1. You're going to struggle even so much more because now it's like, how the hell do I get to number 6? How do I get back? You don't know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have no idea what those are. Now, if you did it with your hard work, with sweat, tears, sacrifice, you fall to 1, the next day you're at 6. You know exactly where you've mapped out a road to get there. And you put this little like a sign that says, turn there, turn here, turn here. You know exactly how to do it. So the experience you get with struggle is so much more powerful than somebody just giving it to you. And I love it, bro, because in that way, I will never be in the expense of other people. There's people who jump so fast, they're always in the expense of other people. They're always having to grab on to things, to people. If you do it yourself, if you go through every single step, you will never need anybody. You will appreciate other people and it'll be amazing. I'll do it myself.
Yeah. No, and that's it's an interesting perspective because it's like you've literally done that.
Yeah.
You've gone from 1 to 6 by yourself, doing all of this, and you appreciate every ounce of it.
Yes.
You know, and there's not anything you take for granted.
Appreciation.
Yeah.
That's what, more than experience, appreciation.
Yeah. No.
And you know why? Because I feel like I went from 1 to 6 when it came to soccer. Yes, it was super hard, but I got lucky. It was like, I was really good. There's videos and everything, but it happened. I didn't have to go through crazy struggle to get there, right?
Yeah.
Because there's people who had to lose their house. It was really hard for them. I get that. But it was easy for me to let it go. Why? Because I didn't have appreciation. This, I'll never let it go. Ever, bro. You can see the first episode, broken mic. There's tape around it. And I didn't have no lights. I didn't have no mic stands. You know,
Sure.
I didn't have like this cool stuff that I have now.
Yeah.
This 3 cameras. I didn't have none of that. But it was like, I never asked anybody for any of this. Nobody can ever come to me and be like, I made you. I did this and that. Nobody can ever come to this because I started literally with just a phone. That's it. You know, in the appreciation now, it's not that I have to do this. I get to do it, bro. Like, it feels so good every time I finish, every time, ooh, I got another episode. Let's go. I'm the happiest person ever.
Who is your, like, without thinking about it too much, or I mean, if you want to, who is your favorite of all the self-made people ever?
Yeah.
Who inspires you the most?
Whew. That's a hard one.
Or just like, it doesn't even have to be the most, because that's like saying your favorite movie.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like, you know, it's like, what's your favorite movie? But who's like a self-made person that you're like, that?
Messi. It's just, there's no way, and this is from experience, and I know a lot of people will understand this. There's no way you can be that consistent and stay at the top that long. It's been, 20 years?
Yeah.
And I'm talking about the top. There's been countless of new talent, younger people, faster, stronger, play better, but they can never stay up that long. That consistency, bro. I'm in love with consistency because I know what's the sacrifice for that. That means intense focus, like almost impossible focusness. It's putting that thing above everything else, even yourself. Mm-hmm. And I admire that so much just because of the consistency. And plus, he went 15 years without winning a cup, like the World Cup, that his country, his people, he even quit soccer. Like, not soccer, but his country even quit. He stopped playing because there was so much pressure. He got to the finals, lost it. He would go to another tournament, lost it. And everybody was just like, you're not an Argentinian. We don't care. We don't love you. You should go away. Comes in, his last, almost like they said it was his last World Cup. He's 35? Old. He's no longer young. Wins it. That doesn't happen without extreme focus, extreme just responsibility. It doesn't happen. So when I look at that, I'm like, I'm in awe. Like,
it's resilience.
Yeah.
Being able to take the weight of failure and being willing to fail again. And then having people look you in the eye and ask why you're still doing it. And you're like, well, get out of my way. You know what I mean? So it's like,
I hate when people ask that, bro. It's like, you don't know what I see. It's so hard to explain to people what you see without having the evidence yet. Mm-hmm. And I bet you've been through this so much where it's like, you see the end. You see the end goal. It's like, night as day. Like, how do you say it? Like light as day? Like
light at the end of the tunnel. I don't know.
No, it's clear as possible.
Yeah.
You see the end goal. It's like, I know exactly where I'm going. You just can't see it yet. And it's like, I can see it, but you can't. And it's like, you go through this so many things and you don't know, you really don't know how you're going to get there. It's impossible to know. But you get there. And you're like, whew, good thing I got there, because if I didn't get there, it would have been pretty freaking sad. I
really respect you in the sense that you see yourself where you want to be and you're going to get there.
Yeah.
Like you're going to get exactly where you want to go. And sometimes I think another burden, and I don't know if this is kind of interesting or not, but the burden of that people believe in you more than you believe in yourself. You know what I mean? Like, they're like imposter syndrome or feelings when you're kind of in an arena, you're like, are you me? Are you sure?
Yeah.
And because it's like, I always think of it in a way like, and I try not to think of it, but like there's roles that like I go for, things that I go for. And if I don't get it, if I get it, someone else doesn't, and it's like understanding the gratitude of and gratefulness of like the gratitude of getting the opportunities that you get.
Yeah.
And getting to talk to the people you talk to. And, so it's just, I don't know. I'm just overall, like I'm grateful that let me just say it this way. Like, it's just, sometimes I don't think I'm doing very much. I don't think, and I'm not trying to say this to like get pity, like I don't want it, but I don't think I'm doing very much. I don't think I've made that much of an impact. I don't think I work hard enough at acting. I don't think I do enough. I see people who work way harder and get way less, than I do. And I don't want to crap on that. But what I'm saying is it just means a lot. It's just really nice of you to say the things you do. Because sometimes I don't always feel like I'm doing as much as and as good as I want to be, So it's just like I get tired, I give up, I get hard on myself, I get all sorts of feelings all the time, and I And so it's like, it's not, I don't have this vision board. I don't have all that, but I like, ultimately, the only thing I really care about is connecting with people and being connected to what I'm doing. And I love acting because nobody, when you're on set, like nobody has their phones because you're just talking to each other. I don't know. So I guess what I'm trying to say is just like, thank you for like saying what you say. It means a lot.
Yeah, bro. It's funny you say that because then this is why I like conversations, because you get to see how other people feel, and I feel like sometimes we forget that other people are humans too, and they have their own perception. They have their own life going on. We forget about that. It's just super hard to think about that all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel the same way. Like there's a reason why I work so hard, because I don't feel like I'm doing good enough. Yeah. And I remember I was talking to my friend the last episode. He got cancer. And we were speaking how he says that I was the best player he has ever seen. Like, everybody in Utah says that. When I was a kid, I was the best player they ever saw, right? I look back, bro, I always tell him, I thought I was the worst player. I thought I was so bad. That's why I worked so hard. And they can't even believe that. They're like, what are you talking about? Everybody, bro, everybody I know is like, oh, you changed the game in Utah. You were the first one to really go to Europe to do all of this and things like that. You were really the best kid. And I had diplomas that said that I was the best player in the country at my age. And I didn't think that. I worked so hard because it was like, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, holy crap. On my age, I think the same thing. Yeah. And it never goes away, because I believe that the higher you go, the more anxiety you get. The higher it looks, the more afraid of heights you get. You just got to deal with there's more wants from people now. There's more responsibility. There's more this and that. And that's why I always tell people, be careful when you wish for success, because it doesn't come with beautiful women, a lot of cars and rainbows. There's a lot of things that it comes with, and it's very dark. And a lot of people can't deal with it. That's why there's drug problems. So there's alcoholism. There's so much mental health involved with this success stuff, because it doesn't come with what you think is going to come. It amplifies where you already feel. If you're not happy before you get success, you're going to be depressed. If you feel bad about yourself, you're going to hate yourself when you become successful. So dealing with all these things where it's like, the more I gain, the less confident I am. It's super scary, because then I have to constantly be looking how to get more confident. Like, once I have 1 million followers, I'm going to be less confident than I am right now, but I'm going to have more responsibility to get more confidence. So there's this loop that just keeps going. You get to a place, you drop, and you got to work your way up. And then you get there, and then you drop again, and you got to work your way up again. And there's this constant battle. Like, no matter how good you are, somebody else will come along, try to take your spot. And it's like, you're constantly, dude, there's going to be a moment that I'm going to be old. There's going to be a kid around the corner who's killing it with podcasting or whatever. And I'll be like, damn, like, what do I do? And it's going to be really hard to understand, but I'm going to have to get on my horse again and keep going, keep pushing, keep trying. And it will never stop. I already made peace with myself that I will never stop working. I don't want this utopia where I can retire one day and just have fun. I don't think I will be able to last like that. I want constant work and constant, not struggle, but constant challenge. I need it, bro. I need to wake up and there's something that I have to fight for today. I need work. I need meaning to my life. It doesn't work if I don't have meaning.
Yeah, like, I think one thing you talk about there is like fulfillment.
Yes.
Feeling fulfilled in your life and having something where you don't feel like it's for yourself, and all these things. One thing I like that artists do a lot is they'll be like, this album is now yours. You know what I mean? Like you kind of know.
Because it's a piece of you that you give people.
Yeah. And it really is like, and the more of you that it is, the deeper that it goes. And I think the other thing too with that is that it's also no matter where you're at, because it's all such a game of chance too. Because you never know what's gonna like change your life.
Yeah.
It's like it took me 15 years to be an overnight success. You know what I mean? Like that, those kind of quotes. But the thing about it is also finding permission, giving yourself permission to feel things in the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
Because it's like sometimes if you're like struggling, you shouldn't be struggling, Lee. Yeah. You have all this. You have like all this and this and this and this. Why are you struggling? Or they may ask you like, oh, Maikon, like you get to do all these like interviews and you're talking to everybody. Like you shouldn't be struggling. You're doing exactly what you want to be doing. And that's kind of where I think the ignorance comes in. Mm-hmm. And knowing that there's ignorance with the people, that may cheapen the experience. Like, it's probably not that hard, right? Like you just saved up a little bit of money and bought a couple cameras and bought some mics and you just go talk to people. Like it's really not that hard, right?
Yeah.
And it's like doing it day after day or like being in the heat of a moment or, it's just, there's just a lot of ignorance to like what we do and like what we do when the curtains are closed, So it's just, well, overall, like I ultimately like these moments because it's all you. Like there's a quote that I always love. If what I am is what I have and what I have is lost, then who am I? Because again, this is all part of you, all of it. If this all went away, it's a part of you and you'll grow, and I don't think it will, but it's just all a part of you,
Dude, everything I've been through, I'm so glad, like the things that I wish I could have done never were. So I don't even think about the past like that. I'm just like so happy that I committed to something and I stayed. Because sometimes I think about it and I'm like, man, I was like, even in soccer, I always go back to soccer. I was so good. If I would have just been more focused, just focus. Don't go to that party. Don't spend your time thinking about dumb stuff. Focus, right? Mm-hmm. I would have probably been the best soccer player in the world. That's why I admire Messi so much, because he focused. Focus. Take everything away. Take everything out. Focus. And you can find some beautiful things.
Yeah. It's what I love is when they call it is the flow state.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
You don't even know that you're doing it.
Yeah. Or like when you're like playing a game or anything that you're just so in the zone that it's just flowing. You're not thinking about anything. Even right now in a way.
Yeah.
Like we're just having this conversation.
I'm not even thinking about the cameras. It's just
yeah. Well, and the other thing too is like we'll like pass the conversation when we'll go quiet. You know what I mean? It's just like this endless flow and being in the zone, and it's addicting because you're like, whoa, like once you felt that and being in the zone, it's like there's nothing like it. I don't know, like when you're playing like soccer with your team and you're just all in the zone together. Take away like the professional. What I mean is like the glitz and glamour, but you're just like on the field and you're like, I'm over here, man. And you're just like a team and you're like, you have this moment. You're like, that was crazy. And people watch it because it's like a spectator sport. Yeah. But then there's like off like, dude, when you kick, you know what I mean? Like having those post conversations afterwards. And it was just like, you were like connected in a way that you were probably never connected to anyone ever. You know, and again, I bet that Messi feels that way with his teammates
all the time.
It's not about him. He gets the most attention. He's like, but he's just loves the game.
Yes. And that's what I think that's what I'm trying to say with focus. Yeah. Right? Like nowadays I get home and I'm like, man, I should have done that better. Yeah. Oh, I need this camera or I need this. And it's like, I'm constantly trying to get better. And I'm like, if I would have just done that, get obsessed with getting better. You know what I mean? Just like, let's say we used to go practice at 9 and like at 11, right? Yeah. It was a pretty short practice. I would be done, go home, do something else. Mm-hmm. But if I was to go back, I would do the practice. First of all, we'll get there early. Say hi to everybody. Just be glad I'm here. Dude, I fucking made it, right?
Yeah.
Super happy. Shake everybody's hands and be like, I'm glad you're here. Already start with the good energy. It's like, bro, we're doing what we love.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Go have fun. Listen to everything the coach is saying. Because we're all dumb. Get somebody's, if somebody's older, more wiser, just listen to him. Just listen. I don't care what you feel. Just listen. Take that moment, right? Stop. Go back and be like, oof, I'm lucky I got to play. My feet feel good. My legs are amazing. And then go to the trainer and be like, hey, how can I get better? I just want to get better, bro. Mm-hmm. Like, you know how cool it would be if I can run 20 more minutes without feeling tired? That would be amazing. How can I do that? Dude, let's do it. Let's find this out. Oh, you're telling me to do this cardio? You're telling me to do this program? I'm going to do it to the T. Mm-hmm. Just, you know why? Because I respect my growth. I'm thankful. I'm doing what I've always wanted to do as a kid. I'm doing something that people would kill for to do. Mm-hmm. And I'm doing it. And if I would have lived in that constant mindset, just like I am now, mm-hmm. that's how I live, bro. I'm excited about every little thing. Like, I get to come here like, dude, we're doing this.
Yeah.
I'm going to look back at my 400th episode and be like, remember that time when we were at your house? Like, you're going to have a mansion, bro. You're going to be famous. You're going to be rich and stuff. Mm-hmm. But we didn't think about it. It just happened because it was fun.
Yeah. It's, I love that song by, I can't think, The Good Old Days. You know what I'm talking about?
I think I heard that,
yeah. The good old days. It's Kesha and he's a rapper. Why can't I think of his name? My mind is blanking, but it's okay. He does like, like he does well, that doesn't tell you anything.
Yeah, I was like, wait.
And then I'll be like,
is that another language?
No. I'm trying to think of like his song, like roll back. Like,
oh, I know what you're talking
roll
about.
Back. No, tonight is the night.
Tonight is the moment.
Yeah, who is that?
It's Macklemore.
Yes, Macklemore and Kesha. They did that song called The Good Old Days.
Yeah.
And it's so raw.
Yeah.
You know, it's so raw and so real. But here's my opinion, like listening to you kind of talk about what I wish I would have done.
Yeah.
What I think, and this is like interesting to me, because I have those things too. Yeah. It's like, if I would have gone back, I would have taken school way more seriously. I would have like given myself opportunity. You know what I mean? If I would have known what opportunity would have given me and appreciate it. But it's this little thing that fosters, that you foster, and it grows, and this energy that grows in you. And so now you have this energy that's grown to this amazing focus that you're putting into this every week, you know, every week you're like, I'm going to drop an episode. I'm going to put it on all the social media and all that focus. Even though it doesn't take the form of going back to your childhood and perfecting everything you would have wished you'd done, it's here now.
Yeah.
And some people never get it. Never. And some people never get to apply it.
Never. Because
they put themselves in a situation where they can't. Mm-hmm. And you have intervened. Yeah. So no, maybe you can't go back and do this, but you're here now doing this. You know, so it's just such a level of like that energy is. It's like, it's kind of like Lion King in an odd way when he looks in the water and he's with Rafiki and he's looking in the water and he's like, Simba, you know, and he goes like, he's in you. You know what I mean? Like because the ironic part is he's dreading his dad who has just passed away and he wants to be like him.
Yeah.
But switch that to the energy or the person you wish you were. That person's always been in you.
Yeah.
He's just growing up.
Yeah.
And you had to grow up. And everybody had to grow up.
Yeah.
And my dad always says that the 30s are the age of enlightenment because you feel all this wisdom now. Yeah. You're like, I had all my 20s to do this, and now I'm in my 30s trying to catch up. So when I get to 40, you know, and like you're playing this catch-up game. But in the end, it was so important because I can't imagine a world where if I had done everything right, would I appreciate all this? Would I appreciate the corrections I made? You know, to your lifestyle. You weren't going to parties. You gave it up. But what if there had never been something to give up?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of paradoxical, but
yeah, dude. I've now that you say that, I have had those thoughts where it's like, oh, yeah, I did do it. You know how you were like, oh, if I could just go back in time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I did it. I'm living that.
Yeah.
You know, like just like you said, it's like I'm back in time. this is me now.
This is you getting the time back.
Exactly.
It's here right now doing interviews.
I'm still
with
alive.
these. You know what I mean? And it's so cool. And you do it every single day.
Yeah.
You know, in the words of Jake Paul, it's every day, bro. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I'm just kidding. But no, just kidding. But no, like it's, but
a famous philosopher.
Jake Paul, you know, like, but just something to pull from. It's on my wall. I never forgot it. I have a tattoo. It's right here.
No, it's so true, bro. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. It's a weird, crazy world. And but I'll tell you, that flow state, it's like, you know, you seen that meme with that guy? He's like, y'all have any more of that? You know, it's like, y'all have any more of that flow state?
Yeah.
It's like where I like, whoa, what's that? Like where I just feel like so synergistic, because there's like this synergy to like where you're doing something, and that in terms you become like a magician, because there's moments that are just magic.
Yes.
Like when you're on set, like an actor, or like in a scene, or like doing a thing, and there's something that happens, like even in an acting class, and you do a scene, and you're like, that was like that was just like it just latches onto your soul, and you'll never forget it.
Well, dude, I saw one of those experiences actually where I don't know what movie it was, but they were doing a scene and they just did such a beautiful scene and everybody was crying on set.
Yeah.
Like everybody felt this, like it was really happening.
Yeah.
And then and then you look at those people and you're like, how did you do that? You know what I mean? Like, how did you make us feel like this was a real thing when there's hundreds of cameras and all of this?
So let me drop one like small acting story to you, if I may.
Yeah.
So when I was working at Evermore, I played Suds McBride, this bartender, right?
Yeah.
And be like, hello, my name's Suds McBride. How are you? Nice to meet you. Where are you from? You know what I mean? So I'd be in character all the time. Yeah. And it was crazy because you do it 5 hours a night. It wasn't a play. There was no script. I mean, like eventually we needed to guide the story, but there really wasn't, especially in the beginning. We were building everything.
Wow.
And so like when we first opened, it was so scary because I'd be looking at like my scene partner, like my guess, like the people that were around me, like in the tavern, and like, so what are we gonna do? I don't know. And people would walk in, and they're coming in, and they're like looking around, and they're like, "Hello," and you're like, "Hello, welcome to the tavern." Hey, you know what I mean? It's like really awkward. But then, like, so sorry, I keep bumping this. I'm like treating it like a baby. I'm like, shh, don't cry. But anyway, so there's this moment right in the tavern, and this girl, and so my character Suds there's a dark thing called lore, and it's a portal to a really dark place, essentially. Ooh. And there's this darkness, and it's like infecting people. And my character Suds falls in love with this character named Clara Nettleton, which actually became from when people would come in. It's called world walkers, like patrons, essentially, like world walkers. And they would come in and they're like, these two people were like, you're kind of boring, honestly. And I was like, oh, thank you. You know, like, I quit. Yeah. But then they were like, do you like anyone? And I was like, well, I kind of like this Clara Nettleton. She lives down the way, you know? And so it's like, and they're like, ooh, and they got all about it. Anyway, flash forward, there was a proposal, all the people came, like, it was so like, it wasn't just acting or a set. It was like, people were like living in this like imaginary bubble of time. And there's a time when she gets infected, Clara gets infected by the darkness, has to go back to to Lore, and he's broken. It's his fiance, and he's shattered, right? And I remember I was in character and you know, just playing Suds, and this lady comes up, she goes, this girl, she comes up, she goes, are you all right? I'm like, well, not really. Like, I lost my fiance to the darkness, and I run this tavern, so I have to look like I'm doing good, but really I'm not, and I drink a lot, and I run a tavern, and it's just a really, really hard time. And she goes, whoa, wait, hey, it's okay. I lost my boyfriend 8 months ago, and it destroyed me. And there was like this, none of that was Clara, Lore, the darkness, none of that was real. Yeah. None of that was real at all. But to this person, in that moment, the moment was so connected and real that she was like, I'm going to tell you something that's like really deeply personal. Can you imagine going to Disneyland and telling like Jasmine, Princess Jasmine, like, my dad left. Oh no. You know, like, you know what I mean? Like, no, I'm just saying, like, it was such a personal thing. And so I really, that again, it all revolves for me around connection. And when you talk about actors on set feeling so connected to a moment that they're like, wasn't real. Okay, I'm okay. That was all, you know.
Yeah, no, I mean, it, like you said, it's that what'd you call it? That when you're in the flow, in the flow. That's such a beautiful place, bro. I remember scoring in front of a stadium. It was like the most like bro. I don't know how taking a really hard drug feels like, but the feeling almost feels like that because it's really fast. Like you do it and then you feel this euphoria that you've never felt before. Literally the world is on your feet. Everybody's super happy. Yeah. Everybody is chanting your name. And then it goes away. And now the second time it's not as cool as the first time.
Yeah.
And then you keep trying just to get the same feeling, but it never was the same as the first time. But it was in the flow state when it just happened. A lot of the times when I did really good things in soccer, I don't remember. It would just happen.
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, oh, like it was so surprising.
Yeah.
So I live my life trying to live like that because what happened today, I'm going to remember it tomorrow and be like, what the heck? We did one of the longest, probably the longest episode I've ever done.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Yeah. Don't tell me. No, I'm not saying like just like for fun. Don't tell me. It's like
but it's just such a cool like conversation, and we're like, oh, we're just having fun. We're not thinking about it. It's like I want to have more conversations like this.
Yeah,
I think this is one of the conversations that really is gonna help me to be like, just be you. Because for the longest time, even at the beginning, I would be like, should I ask that? Should I ask this? And then I figured out that it's like no matter what I ask, people are gonna have their opinion. Even if I try to be the most perfect person, they're gonna have an opinion. Even if I try to be the craziest one, they're gonna have an opinion. Yeah. So why not just be myself? Just speak. Like I don't care. I'm gonna move like this. I'm gonna talk like this. I don't care. Yeah. I just wanna feel like I'm having a conversation. Like these things don't exist. Like I'm trying to get to know you more. You're trying to get to know me more. It's just like we're flourishing, bro.
Yeah. I love podcasts.
You gotta get your own, bro.
Yeah. Well, it's just really fun. There's a lot of things I want to do, but at the moment, you know what the best feeling is? When you're feeling the feeling of you wouldn't rather be anyone, like there's nowhere else you'd rather be. Like doing this right now, like it's not about like anything other than like, this is what I want to be doing. This is like what I was spending my time doing. Like I told my friend that owns this condo, and I'm like, dude, I'm getting interviewed. And he's like, whoa, cool. And I sent him the first one we did so he could reference it. Our saga, of adventures, of conversations. But I don't know. Like it just. I remember it actually brings me back when I would talk to my friend on the phone, like on landlines. Yeah. And you call him, and I remember we're like, bro. We've been talking for like 2 hours. Really? Yeah. Dude, let's make it to 3. Okay. It's been 4. Oh, I have to hide in her room. Why? My mom knows I have the phone. I think she wants to call somebody. But we have to get to 4 hours, man. You know what I mean? Time flies when you're having fun.
Bro, it's incredible how fast it goes.
Yeah.
I think possibly... I started with the politics stuff and things like that. That was new to me. I've never been to that.
Yeah.
And the past 4 months have been probably the funnest months I've ever had in my life. Even after soccer. Just because I was alive while this was going on. It didn't just happen to me. It was like a kid in a ride that has been in a ride 100 times, but it still feels fun. Mm-hmm. That you get to finally open your eyes and you're like, this is happening. And for the first time ever, I've been able to be present, living my dream, not dream, like actually living as my dream, right? Like doing the things that I like. And I'm just constantly like, I get home and I'm like, yo, that was so cool today. And there's been some really hard struggles, but it was just like, but I got to do it though. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it was hard, but yo, we did it.
Yeah, can I relate to you on some level with the soccer a little bit?
Yeah.
So I used to mascot
Oh.
And I used to do I used to do a lot of mascotting, and I did it with a company called the Mascot Miracles Foundation.
Oh, cool.
And where I would go to, there would be kids with cancer and like events and do spiritual events. But what happened was, is first of all, when I was in high school, I went to the haunted forest. I think it was a haunted forest. And the guy followed me around and kept following me. And I was like, okay, he's not scaring me anymore. He's literally following me. This is getting like weird. And he follows me and goes, hey. And he breaks character. Yeah. And he goes, hey, over at UVU, we're like looking for a mini mascot. And like, I'd love you to like do it. And we'll like pay your tuition. And you probably experienced the same thing with like soccer and stuff. And I was like, whoa, I'm in high school and I'm with my friends and it's like weird. Like, he just said he'd pay for my college. Woohoo. And my kids are like, I'm trying to get straight A's so I can get that. And you're just like walking around. Yeah. So I do the mascotting and I do that. And I remember like going to events and like, there's a lot of history to that. But I remember like, even though I could do it, I didn't want to do it. Like it wasn't what I wanted to do. And it was like, and people were like, you could be a pro mascot. And I was like, I could. And there was teams I was going to potentially look at. But the thing though is like, the thing I connect with you on, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, is that you kind of like, you're not connected to the thing that you're naturally talented at anymore. Yeah. And you want to go build something else where you're like, hey guys, honestly, like I know I'm good at this, but I really want to do this. Yeah. And they're like, it's like,
but why? And they're like, but why?
But why? But you're good at this, man. Yeah. Like, and you're going to, like all those cliche sports movies, you're going to throw it all away for this, but you're here and I can tell when you're here doing this, there's no place you'd rather be.
Oh no. And I always, that's why I turn off my phone and I'm here. Everybody knows that when I don't answer, I'm doing something cool. Yeah. That's it. Even my girl knows that it's like, I'm having fun, babe. That's it. Like, you don't need to know nothing else. Because, lifestyle, stop cheating. Yeah. I don't cheat. I don't do dumb stuff. I don't do drugs. I don't drink. I'm getting high off of life every day, bro. Yeah. I'm on calls with people. Like, people think that this is like, I just have long conversations during the podcast. No, bro. I just had a phone call with my friend who he's in Arizona right now. And 2 hours. Literally, no, I think it was 3 hours we're talking. Yeah. And about life, and he's feeling emotional. I'm talking about life and things. And I'm like, yo, I just had the coolest conversation. And it was never on a podcast. So I literally, I don't know, did I ever tell you how I thought about doing this? Bro, I used to make music, right? Yeah. And I would be in the studio till 5 a.m. and we never made a song. It was just me speaking. It was just me talking to this person about life. And then, music didn't work out. I spent a year just trying to find myself, and it hit me. And I was like, what do I like the most? I like talking. I genuinely love talking. Mm-hmm. It's just, that's what people are like, oh, you talk so much. I'm like, yeah, that's literally what I do. Like, that's my thing, right? Mm-hmm. So I decided that for some reason, I was like, I just want to get to know the whole world. If I could talk to everybody in the world, bro, I'm just so excited when I get to episode 1,000. That means I've spoken to 1,000 different people. Like, it could be, just like me and you, like we have a different conversation, but you're a completely different person than what you were 50 something episodes ago. Mm-hmm. So now I'm talking to different people. I'm getting a different perception. I'm learning so much more than the normal person. The normal person probably gets 10 really good conversations in their lifetime. I'm talking about really good conversations that you learned something, it helped you out. I'm getting every week. Yeah. No matter how crazy the person is, no matter how funny it is, I'm getting a really cool conversation that it taught me something.
Yeah. No, it's, and that's kind of the endless thing when you find, like I was talking to my friend about, acting and doing that. And it's just like, you kind of have these moments where you're like, it's never about the role or like how much scene. It's just that you get to do it and you would do it no matter what. And you just enjoy. That's kind of why the best experiences I've ever had acting are kind of like just in an acting class. Yeah. It's not necessarily like in these big flashy moments. It's just these little quiet, like, wow, that was, and it becomes like a sport. And you're like, yeah, that was good scene. You did a good job. Like that delivery with that line really caught me off guard. You know what I mean? And so it's like, it's in that way, it's like a sport in and of itself. Mm-hmm. you know? So I don't know, man. Like, it's really cool that we're just both hungry. And then we get to be like, dude, I'm crazy about this. What are you crazy about? You know?
Well, even bro, I just can't wait where like life is going to take us a year from now.
Yeah.
Like there's going to be something different. And we have no idea. We're going to go look back at this and be like, oh, remember when bro, we might be parents next year or something. You don't know.
I hope I'm ready for that. Like, maybe like 2 years.
Yeah, you just don't know, bro. And I'm excited
yeah.
to see what becomes of people. Like sometimes I look around and I'm like, oh, I did that. I'm here. Everything I wanted 3 years ago, I have it. Why not? Why not? Is everything that I want right now not going to happen in 4 or 3 years? Why not? It's going to happen because I know the power of consistency, resilience, and action taking. Action, resilient, consistency. You will eat the world up if you just have those 3 things.
Yeah.
You know, just wanting to do something so bad that nothing else will mess it up. I physically, bro, I've told my girlfriend many times, I physically can't be mad at myself where I can't feel negativity. I need, like, something bad happened. Oh, it's all good. What else can we replace that with, though? It's all good. Okay, okay, boom, boom. Resolved. Okay, now let's keep moving forward. Move forward. Keep breaking through. Keep doing good things. Physically can't do it because as soon as I think something bad or something negative, I'm now manifesting something bad or something negative. I have to stay on character. That's what it is. I have to, if I want to become this person, how does that person act? Does he act like me? Like, I'm so sad? No. He's there. Why is he sad about not getting there if he's already there? Right? That's what I'm manifesting. I'm manifesting that person who's there. Stress is coming along. I don't care. Oh, it's just part of the process. Oh, someone doesn't like me. I don't care. There's going to be a lot more people who don't like me. Oh, people don't want to be in my life anymore. It's okay. People are not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
I love the process, bro. And I will always love it with all my heart because I know that there's nothing better than getting somewhere when you told yourself you're going to get there. Nothing better.
Yeah. And it's just, like I said, the flow state where you're just so in the moment and enjoying every moment and you savor every moment. And I had a lot of fun listening. It wasn't like a chore to listen to our conversation. I mean, not that I'm like, I love to listen to myself talk, but like, oh, look, that's me. But, but it's not that. It's more of like, it's like a timestamp. And in this moment is like immortalized. That's why that's why I always think acting school, because if you do like something well, dude, it lives forever.
Forever.
Like Lord of the Rings, for example, or you were talking about Game of Thrones, or like anything that like you're like, wow, that was good, and it will never like go away.
Never.
You know, and it like lives on forever and ever and ever. Like I think about like great performances, and actors come and go, but their performances live on.
Yeah.
You know, and or just any kind of thing like that. Like music is the same way. There's just so many. There's a song by Billy Joel called Vienna. Have you heard of it?
No.
You should like on the drive home just get. But like he basically is just talking to like, don't worry, child. Like everything's gonna work out. Because I'll admit, like I don't always have that resilience. I don't always have that like, oh, whatever this happened. Like it's like, am I done? Like I don't know if I tap out, you know, and like there's those levels of things, but yeah.
It's that, bro. You just gotta do it. It sucks, bro. There's some days that even though I love it so much, there's some days I don't want to do this, but it's like that drive of like, what's gonna happen if I don't do it though? I don't want to feel that for the rest of my life. I don't want to feel like somebody can be like, oh, you didn't get that week done. Screw that. I'm going to rub it in their face. Like every single week, I posted an episode. What are you going to tell me? Go back. Go watch that episode. Go watch episode 34 when I was super depressed in my bed, but I was like, fuck, I have to go get that episode. I have to go. Do it. Episode 35 was the coolest episode because I was like, oh, episode 34 was really hard. But I get to do it still because I didn't stop. Now I get to say, this is episode 127 when I could have stopped at episode 34. Mm-hmm. I said, no. That's beautiful, bro. You know? Yeah. So, Lee, it's been an amazing fucking conversation,
yeah, it's like one of those conversations. You're like, where do we exit? Where's the? You know, you're like,
this is really fun, bro.
It's like a roller coaster. It's like, okay, I'm ready to get off. No, I mean, not that I feel that way, but you know what I mean. Like we're just going.
No, I want to throw up, bro. I want to throw up. No, I get it, bro.
We gotta keep going.
Yeah, but thank you, bro. Thank you, really. You're awesome, bro.
Yeah, thanks for. You know, it's like one of those things. It's cliche, but like I needed this because it's like a checkpoint.
Wow.
You know, because you're like talking about all these things and you're bringing it all up and it brings you back to now. And you're like, oh yeah, like I'm doing these things and I'm talking with somebody. So thanks for having me on this.
Oh yeah, bro. This is your home, bro. Whenever, well, this is actually your home, but,
yeah. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah, but this show is your home, bro. You know, there's always going to be an open door. And when this becomes the biggest thing ever, we're going to get you here. Then from here, somebody's going to call you up and be like, Lee, we need you in this movie. And it's going to change your life. I'll be happy to do that. Why not? You know, that's my goal, if you would say. I want to make people happy. And it's like, if this could contribute to making your dreams come true, bro, I'm so excited for that. If I know for a fact that if I have 1 million followers, somebody's out here going to make a lot of money. Somebody's out here going to make their family proud. Somebody's going to get the opportunity of their lifetime to make enough money to be happy just from this. And if I can make this hub, that's what I don't do for me, bro. Like, I know I'm going to become something. But if I can do it for somebody else too, why not, bro? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's truthfully, it's like creating a win-win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like endless win-wins.
Yeah.
Because you're being genuine with what you want to do. Yeah. Like me, I look at acting, if you want to know, like I look at performances, even until now, that affect me. Mm-hmm. That I wish I could tell that actor, like, that was an amazing performance. And like that changed, like, not like, oh, you're famous, I want to meet you, take a picture, but just like that performance. Yeah. I just hope that my love for the craft can, you know, I hope I can give someone a performance that like, I needed that, or like that really moved me, or just, you know, that same juice where we're all, we go up the elevator, then we let it back down and we just keep going and going.
Bro, I think the coolest thing though, on some like selfish part of having this really successful show someday, is that the coolest thing I want to do is, let's say I have 1 million followers, I'm lit, people, everybody wants to come in, and I just choose the people that I want on the show. I want to be watching like the Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah.
And I just be like, God damn it, bro. I hated that final ending. I hated the last episode.
Yeah.
I want to get him on the show and talk to him about this. Why was the ending like this?
Sure.
Like, I want to be able to just call that person up and be like, yo, I want to talk about that. Why did you do that?
Like, have the reach to be like, I'm curious, and I get to find out why. I get to that's a really,
you get to be a part of the story,
the conversation. You're exactly. Like, tell me, explain yourself. What a horrible thing. Did you find the writers for this? You know, like, well, I was really devoted. I followed your character all the way to season 8. Yeah. You know what's funny? I was there. I've never really seen Game of Thrones. I've never gotten into it, but I was there at San Diego Comic-Con in 2019 when it was the last Game of Thrones panel. So my friend and I went to Hall H, and that's like where they do all the big shows. And I was in line we were like in line, and if you got out of line when your section went in, you had to go back to the end. Yeah. So you're like, you know, I got to stay here. So anyway, I remember I had to go to the bathroom, but it's like, if you get back after, you have to go to the back. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, so I'm running to the line. And I remember running, and I was like, I gotta hurry. And I was running back after I went to the bathroom, like, Peter Dinklage is my dad. He doesn't know I'm here. Like, I have to find him. You know, It was really dark. Let it through. You know, it was just really like, and some people do it as a joke, but it was just really funny. And then I was there for the last Game of Thrones panel. I mean, I feel like I was like not a genuine like fan. I hadn't watched anyway, but I just remember being there and just being around that energy. And you will, man. And let me turn it, because you're saying that you will. If that's what you want. If that's what you want and you have fun doing it, it's not all just like hardship and like, can you have some fun along the way? Like, oh my gosh, I want to call so-and-so. Like they did this movie and I thought that was kind of weird. Like they did all these movies and then they got into this lane.
And then, I want to have this conversation.
It's like you call Harrison Ford, like, bro, you're this old, but you're still acting like in Marvel and you're the Red Hulk. Why?
Yeah.
You know, but you don't get to like have to be a fan. You get to be like a colleague.
Yes,
you know,
exactly.
and you're like, oh, and they're like, oh yeah, well, and you know, and like Harrison Ford's just sitting here and he's like, oh well, you know, I mean, I'm not, and I can't do impressions, but my point is that you will get that. You'll get all the inspiring stuff, all the inspiration, all the inspirational, but also don't forget that you're gonna have all the fun too.
Oh yeah.
And you already are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's only just going to snowball.
Yeah, it's going to be even better. That's what I believe in life. Like people always think, oh, it's getting so. No, I'm like, bro, it's getting funner. Let's go. This is, like, imagine what's next. I have no idea. All the cool things that I've lived with this just by being consistent. What's next? I have no clue. It's going to be the coolest thing. Next week might happen. Next week might be the coolest person calls me like, hey, I want to do a show. Yeah. And it would change my life. I have no clue. I don't know what episode is going to change my life. Maybe an episode already changed my life and I don't see it. I don't notice it.
Yeah.
You know?
I see these as checkpoints.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's a checkpoint. That's a checkpoint. Get some rest. Edit. Rinse. Repeat. You know? And so, yeah. But thanks for having me, man.
Hell yeah, bro. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. I know.
Yeah,
I know. It's
like,
I'm like, so we stopped doing that.
Nah, but yeah, bro. Thank you. Really?
Yeah, no, you're welcome. Like that was, I was nervous when like, I was like, oh, you know, I kind of got like jitters, but then when it just rolls, dude.
Hell yeah, bro. So
yeah.
Love you guys. Take care. Go to sleep early. Drink water. Peace out. You gotta say hi. You gotta say bye.
Oh, bye. Take care. This camera. Wait, which camera? Bye-bye. Take care.
That was dope, dude. Thank you.
Yeah, really. You're very welcome.
That was one of the coolest conversations. Plus, we broke the record, 2 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang, man. Well, I didn't really feel like that was 2 hours.
I know. I was like I looked at it and I was like, wait a minute. It's 2 hours?
Well, I was like, blah, 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 blah. You know, like,
oh, yeah.
Well, we're doing it. We're almost doing it again. It's like, gotta get off. But no, I really like, I had like did I do okay with keeping my...
Yeah, that was awesome.
Okay, I just want to make sure, like, because that's part of the rules, I guess.
Yeah.
But like, no, I love this stuff, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's really fun.
Yeah.
It's really fun. And you're like, and you care and you always have questions and you have a lot of life experience.
Yeah.
So like you have a lot to reference.
Yes.
That's kind of what makes you win too. It's because like you didn't just start doing this. You're like, I want to be a podcaster. And that's it. And you're like, cool. What
it just so happens.
Before that?
Yeah.
Well, you've had the soccer journey, the music journey. And so when you have guests like me or anybody talk to you, you can kind of connect.
Yes.
So you have a lot of like that's the nice part too, starting this in your 30s. Like, sure, you could go back, but then you wouldn't have all the, because they say a lot with actors that like, or just that people aren't living enough life.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the genuine part of acting is when you can like pull from your own.
Yeah.